Good morning. Welcome to Live with OCC. Today I have my friend, my niece, and my counselor here, Tia, and she's going to introduce herself.
Well, I'm happy to be here with you as always. My name is Tia Glenn Honore. I am the owner and sole operator at Essence of Joy Counseling. I am in Grand Prairie, Texas, but my practice is virtual.
Okay. So people don't have to come to the office.
No. And there was a myth at one point. So even before COVID, I was doing virtual sessions. And there was this myth that it's not as beneficial if I'm not in the office with you. I love the in the office exchange of energy, I really do. But what I knew was that you don't necessarily need that in order for it to be beneficial.
Okay.
And so, again, since 2020, that secret is out. And what a lot of people have learned, and I've had a lot of clients to tell me, is that it has helped them tremendously to not have an excuse to not come. I don't have to fight traffic. I don't necessarily have to find somebody to keep my kids. You know, some of the excuses that they would make to not show up for their session have been eliminated.
Okay. See, because I remember back when you said counseling or anything like that, it was in an office with a couch.
Yeah.
And
I never had a couch.
You know what I mean?
I never had a couch.
And you lay on this couch and you talk to this
That's
person.
so TV. Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
That's so
But
TV.
that's when you say counseling.
I know.
And
I know.
a lot of people
I know.
are afraid to go to counseling. But they have stuff going on that they need counseling.
So, you know, I mentioned the myths. And another big myth is that the only reason that people go to counseling is because they're crazy, they cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, they need to be locked up in a room or something like that. And that is so not true.
Okay.
A lot of the clients that I work with are what we call high functioning. I have people who have very lucrative careers. They are, you know, very well established. They do well in other parts of their lives. And if you saw them on the street, you would think that they're fine. But they have anxiety.
And that doesn't show.
And that doesn't show. You know, that's the thing about mental health. It's one of those things where it impacts people, but you don't see it, right? So we have some of these other things where if you break your arm or, you know, you have some other type of disability,
It's visible.
it's visible,
Yeah.
right? But anxiety can be just as crippling as if I have lost a limb. Like people who have panic disorders are literally paralyzed. Like they cannot move.
Mm.
And for people who don't deal with it, it can be very difficult for them to understand. But back to the myth, you don't just come to therapy if you have high anxiety or panic disorder. If I'm just struggling with trying to navigate just everything that I have on my plate, I'm juggling so many different things. A lot of my clients are women, and I really enjoy working with women. We have a lot of issues that go unvalidated, ignored, oh, we're just whining, we just cry. No, we have a lot of legitimate things that women deal with that are just not given the credence that they really deserve.
Right.
So, you know, I work with women to help them with navigating those things.
Okay.
I have a lot of women who deal with reproductive issues, challenges with having children, and that brings about its own stresses.
Just a thought.
And so, right, so that wouldn't be considered a mental health issue, right?
Right.
But that's a challenge,
And it's dealing with your mental
and it
or
impacts your mental,
psyche too.
right? Right now, we're in election season. Political anxiety is a thing for people. It's really a thing for people. There are certain populations of people in the communities that we live in who really are afraid for their physical safety because of what's happening in the political climate. And that causes people to have high anxiety. And so they come in to try to, they already are trying to navigate their place in life, right? So then when the political climate comes around and it's just doing what it's doing, it just, right? We have people with seasonal depression, which I see your face. That is a whole thing.
And people, and that's why I'm glad you came on, because I did insurance. And from October to December, it was stressful. People didn't want to pay. But now, from October to December, suicide is high, depression is high, stress levels is high, and people do not know how to deal with it. And it is real. And I tell people, and people are like, huh? Yeah.
So that financial stress is another reason that people come, right? Financial stress is not something that I can diagnose somebody with, right? But it is definitely something, and no, I'm not a finance major or anything like that, but I understand the stress part. And a lot of times when people come to therapy, it's because they're looking for a safe space where they can unload some of that, and they don't want to tell their business to people that they know, because they're embarrassed about the people that they know knowing how bad things really are.
And you are stressed. So people if you know that person, you know something going on, if you know that person.
Right.
So,
yeah, so we
need
say,
to do at this point? I mean,
well, I do like how we're seeing more and more that is being normalized for people to go to therapy. I love that, right? I think we have to continue to encourage people to talk to someone. That is okay. That is not abnormal. That is not wrong. That it doesn't mean that, we're going to judge you wrong for it. We definitely have to encourage people to go ahead and find you somebody to talk to, because that's outside of my scope, right? We can't be uncomfortable, and we can't throw it at people like a dart, right? Oh, you need to find you somebody to talk to. See, that's going to discourage people, because again, that makes them feel judged. So you definitely have to do it in an encouraging and loving way. So I know that the person that is making the recommendation may be concerned with, well, I don't know how to help them with finding someone. Right. There are wonderful resources like yours who are able to help people with finding that type of help. We have Mr. Google that can definitely help. Another myth is that there are not therapists out there that look like us. There are a lot of us.
But we don't think therapists. Our minds are not. I'm a therapist, so that's something I'm not going to Google, And then, two, if you are going through something, call 211.
Absolutely.
Call 211, and they can tell you what organization have counseling, or they can refer you to a counseling person. Because I get at least on a week basis, maybe 2 or 3 calls on mental health issues.
Yeah. Now, if you're in a crisis,
911.
911.
Not 911, but if you just need to talk to somebody because you're feeling different, and you know something but you don't know what it is, then you can call 211 and they can guide you to where resources are. And a lot of people don't have insurance, so that's another thing.
Well, that's a whole nother animal. However, again, I will say there are amazing organizations out there like OCC that can help you with resources where you would be able to be connected with somebody that can help you with getting counseling services that are low cost or no cost to you. But until you make the step of reaching out and trying to find some type of service, you don't know that that's available, right? They have partnered with therapists like myself to provide the services. So you don't worry about that. that is being taken care of on the back end between us. And you just, do your part, show up for your sessions, and we'll get that taken care of on the back end.
Because this is October, this is more, we hate to use the word, but it's critical.
But we have to use that word.
Suicide, this is
We have
from
to use the
October
word.
to
We can't run from
December.
it.
This is gonna be high suicide or people at the edge, and we wanna catch you before you get to the edge. So counseling is available. She's gonna give you her information. Again, there's resources out there, 211 for non-emergency. If you feel really depressed, 911, and they even have staff now, that they have a team that can go out for that.
Right, yes.
Give them your information.
I can be found at, you can contact me by phone, 972-662-8255. I am here local. A lot of people do social media. I can be found at, at TGH Essence of Joy on both Facebook and Instagram. I am on Psychology Today. I am on ZenCare, which is another great resource for finding therapists. A lot of people don't know about ZenCare, but ZenCare is a great resource where you're able to, peruse through. You can see a little video about the therapist.
Okay.
It's a great resource. Most people just go to Psychology Today, but ZenCare is another good resource too.
And let's hit a little bit on mental health. Mental health is in a whole category by itself, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but we deal with mental health every day.
Every day.
And that's what people don't understand, so by us dealing with it every day, if something tragic comes or overload comes, we out of here. We just
Right. Yeah. I would say, you don't have to wait until you become overwhelmed or something traumatic happens for you to reach out. If you are just feeling a little extra weight down, if you are just feeling that extra inability to concentrate or to focus and you're not sure why, if you are struggling to sleep, your mind feels like you can't get it to stop racing. Those are all things that are indicators that, it might benefit you to reach out and speak with somebody. If you find yourself being easily irritable, any little thing sets you off, and you're not sure why. Those are some things that could be indicators that you might need to reach out and speak to somebody. A lot of times we don't know what the indicators are.
right.
And so those are just some of the, everyday indicators that, you're like, why did the cap on that pen just send me off? What is that?
You asking yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are some things that can let you know what, I think it's time for me to talk to somebody.
Yeah, because I know 2011, and I did not know stress and food.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I went through a workers' comp issue, and I'm at home, and all of a sudden, I'm looking at TV, and I'm like, what is wrong? And I started breaking, and I went to the doctor. He had to give me a 20-day pack and a shot. It was like stress. And I'm like, stress?
Yes.
I'm not stressed. Well, because they was messing with my money, financial, and everything was fine because I'm going to get my money. My inner could not handle it.
Listen, stress is the silent killer. Because we all feel like, I can handle stress. You may be able to handle certain stresses, right? But there's that thing that comes along that's the stress that you've never really had to deal with before.
That was it.
Or it's stress on a level that you've never had to deal with it before. Or it's a prolonged stress over a long period of time that you've never had to deal with it like that before. That takes a toll on your body in a different way.
You
And I
know,
tell people all the time, your body is not gonna lie to you. Your body is letting you know that it's something going on.
oh, believe
And
me.
a lot of what's going on is not always because of,
Right, every day.
stuff. Sometimes it's here.
Yeah, because like I said, and then he was like, peanut butter, grapefruit. And I was like, but I've never been peanut butter. I've eaten peanut butter all my, I had ate some peanut butter with the stress and it triggered it.
Mm-hmm.
So with peanuts and peanut butter,
Yeah.
I just kind of started getting back to eating, here and there because that wasn't nothing to play with.
Yeah.
And and I'm by myself and like, this started closing up. And then when I went to talk to somebody, she was like, oh, your stress is right here.
Yes.
And I'm like, huh? She was like,
Yes.
every time my stress was in the esophagus.
Yeah.
And she was like, but you're going to be okay once everything is.
Yeah, and there's different types of therapy. So there's somatic therapy that helps you with identifying certain parts of the body, and you release, your stress in different parts of the body, and that helps with you starting to feel better and work through some of those things. There's EMDR, there's tapping, there's all different types of things that can help you with getting to where you want to be. You just have to be open enough to exploring them. It's not just talk therapy. Talk therapy works for a lot of people, which is great. I'm a psychotherapist. But I also believe in some of the others. And so I incorporate all of those things into my sessions. I'm not just a one-size-fit-all type therapist.
Right.
I'm going to pull from whatever I feel like I need to
It's
pull
going
from
to help you.
to help you. Right. So I tailor my treatment to whatever client it is that I'm working with.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's
And like I say,
different.
once I got over that, I was, like it came, it went.
Yeah.
But I
So-
knew how to deal with,
I was just about to say, have you learned how to cope with your stress?
Oh yeah, because that's over with. I'm retired now. See? So
No, but if you have a different
stressor
stressor that comes
no.
along.
I now know I got you on speed dial. See,
I mean,
don't
yes.
but that I never went to account. I never had to have it because life was okay. You know what I mean? But I never went through having an injury. And then she was telling me your injury. You've been used to doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
So it was like a shock.
Yeah. So I think about that, and for you, there was, that situation that happened. People can also have what's called situational depression. It comes as a result of a certain situation that happened in life. And so, people are like, well, I've never been depressed before. Well, you've never been in this particular situation.
And that's what people don't.
And so, that's something that people don't realize. People don't realize that grief can be associated with several things, not just the death of a person. You can grieve the loss of an opportunity. You can grieve the loss of a dream. You can grieve the loss of a job. You can grieve the loss of a relationship. So there's just so many different things that happen in life that we can help you guys with working through.
Right. Again, if you're feeling just a tiny bit out of the ordinary, call somebody.
Yeah. And one more thing I want to add. So all therapists are not created equal, right? And you may reach out to someone, you work with somebody, and you might feel like, that wasn't for me. That's okay. There's more than one of us, and we're not all going to work for everybody. So I tell people all the time, ask if the therapist will do a consult. So you have an opportunity to get a feel for them, to see how, how they conduct a session and how they do and that type of thing. And then you can see whether or not they're going to possibly be a better fit for you. I actually offer consults. So see if the therapist will offer a consultation for you. Usually the chances that you guys will work better are higher when you have a consult first. If you're able to see, you're able to see, okay, like I like how they ask questions. I like, the banter that we have between each other, that type of thing. But yes, finding somebody that's a good fit for you makes a big difference. If you find somebody that's not a good fit, don't just say forget it. try again. There's lots of us out there that are willing to help you guys, for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
As
Anytime.
always.
Anytime.
Probably in the next 3 months, because after Christmas, people go back.
Yes.
And you going before the holiday, and you're gonna go after the holidays.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've seen in doing
Well,
this
because
for
the
last 10
loneliness
years.
that people deal with during the holidays. So, I mean, you know, you want to do another one around the holidays for sure, because the
Okay.
loneliness becomes a thing for people during the holidays.
Okay.
They don't have anybody to spend the holidays with. And so that's one of the things that contributes to the depression.
Body, mind, soul, and spirit is important,
Absolutely.
and we have to stay on track with it, people. So again, good to see you.
Always good to
Thank you for coming out.
You're very welcome.
And she's gonna give you her information one more time.
Tia Glenn Honoré. I can be found on Psychology Today, ZenCare, telephone number 972-662-8255, Instagram and Facebook at tgh.essenceofjoy.
And when you call her, tell her that you got her information from Live with OCC.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you guys for tuning in and have a blessed day. Bye.